Hey, hey. Hello, 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 and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel, where I am passionate about helping victims of all ages and all genders overcome the fear of facing the abuse to become survivors. Over here, we don't do moments of silence. We do moments of speaking, where we speak out the names of the victims and we speak out the names of the survivor of the of the abusers. Excuse me. Right now, we have been coming together under the umbrella of Justice for Shanquella Robinson. However, recently we were hit with not only a slap in the face, but a punch in the gut, where the news reported that the North Carolina FBI said they weren't going to file no charges. They said they didn't have enough evidence. And they gave us a new bogus autopsy report with new information and keywords in there to show how this whole thing is just taking a turn down memory lane. This feels like some baloney crap that they fed us back in the 60s, in the 50s, where justice isn't blind. Justice sees color, and it judges accordingly. And that's why we've been coming together, standing together, where we're going to continue to demand justice for Shanquella Robinson, because we believe that by getting the justice for Shanquella, we are going to leverage that, and we're going to be able to demand justice for victims in the past, and we're going to be able to decrease future victims, because these abusers are going to know that justice will be served. So I'm just grateful that we still here. And I know, like me, a lot of y'all was outraged. The whole thing was unbelievable. Because since November the 19th, when the video came out, and people, not only in America, but all around the world, saw the video, people were disturbed and hurt and disgusted and dismayed at the video back in November, and was definitely certain and for sure that justice was going to be done. Some people, however, knew how the system works and was speaking out back in the beginning, back in November, saying that this case was going to go cold and that there was going to be no justice rendered. But we kept coming together here saying, no, we're going to get us some justice for Shanquella Robinson. And we saw how it was growing. People were feeling the same way, wanting to get justice. We tried over here to stick to math and science, to stay focused on the truth, because they kept throwing out all kind of distractions from the beginning. And then we saw that weeks and months later, they would come with a new story to address the concerns and the obvious points that we were putting out there to expose the lies and to reveal the truth of what we saw, Shanquella being attacked. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm 52 years old and a proud Gen X. What's great about being a Gen Xer is that we were here before the internet. We were here when we had to rely on reading, writing, and arithmetic. And the other good thing is that we're still here now with this internet. But we got a good old mind, a mind that remembers, and that you can always go back and visit the history to know the truth. To know the truth. So they wanted us to disregard the truth that we saw to believe this new narrative that changed in excess of 4 to 5 times. We can go back and look at the early videos, right? We can go back there and look at the early videos. But the video that has never changed is the attack, where the coroner's report that listed the cause of death when this first happened as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. These are injuries to the skeleton, which would have nothing to do with someone being embalmed. Nothing. Nothing to do. I thank y'all so much for coming in here. And not only am I a proud 52-year-old Gen Xer, I'm also the proud mother of 3 adult children, 2 XY chromosomes, and 1 XX. And I have over 30 years of nursing experience. And that was one of the things that drew me to this case. Before I started talking about Shanquella Robinson, I was just a regular, older woman who was talking about grieving the loss of my hair that had been burned out by this Dominican blowout. I had, and I was on here for that. And then this thing happened with Shanquella Robinson, and I saw the injury to the neck and understood how it happened and what it looked like. And from there, we just started talking about it, and more people started to talk about it. And like I said, this thing grew. And I know I did not believe that we was going to get this news that no charges were going to be filed. However, I want us to go back to reflect that Sue Ann Robinson, the attorney for Shanquella family, did say that high-level diplomatic intervention is needed. So maybe this is what this whole thing is turning into. So that is there. The link to join the membership for this here channel. Somebody had asked me about it and saying that, somebody did ask about it. But anyway, I have dropped it in this here description box and pinned it here. And I'm going to show how to do it. So I'll share the screen and show you how to do it. But I was feeling moved too, because the last video that the news was on there, we had listen to Salamandra, the mother of Shanquella, and to hear how she had been just gaslit to, not really know how to explain this, and, having them saying, "Oh no, we don't know what happened. The cause of death is undetermined," which, we all know is a bowl of poop. And just feeling that, but to hear her say that they're going to be out there May 19th in Washington, D.C., just really hit my heart. I never thought that I would be, doing some political stuff or being an activist or any of these things, but feeling like I'd want to be out there May 19th, and feeling like that's probably something, a good, I feel like I might be going out there, y'all. Sometimes it's time to put up or shut up, and live up to it. Live up to it. So let me go over here. I'm going to share how y'all would, if you want to support the endeavors, joining the membership of the channel would be, nicely a good way to do it. So I'm not sure why all these screens are coming in, but anyway, over here, you would click on this link that's pinned to the top of the chat. That's one way to do it. Click that. And then here it is, join the channel. As you can see, a meager $1.99 to support the channel. Thank y'all so much for your support. Other way to do it is to go to the actual channel here, and then scroll on down to hit this arrow. Oh, no, why it's not showing. Let me fix this up, y'all. It's not showing correctly. All right, let me get off of that. Too many boxes, maybe. Perhaps there might be too many boxes. So let me go back and try this again. All right, here we go. All right, so if you go to the front page, or the front page of the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel here, you can clearly see that, okay, so videos up here at the top, right? Then you have to, let's see, click one of these here. Yeah. Click this here arrow to scroll to the side. Where is the darn thing? Supposed to be a membership button up here. Oh, here you go, right here. Join. Join. You click that, and then booyah, go right on up in there like that. All right, so there you go. That's how you do it. For those of you who are interested in supporting the channel by becoming a channel member, you'll get this nice little, what do you get here? I got any members down here? Here we go. Here's a member. This is what it looked like. See how you get the nice little thingamabob here on your name? Thank you, Giselle. Giselle says, tell them, RN. That's right. That's what I'm about to do. I wasn't thinking that I was going to still have to be talking about this, or, feeling brave enough to, make a name and go out there and go to Washington, D.C. I do have my experience in Washington, D.C. was back in the year was 1988. And I had won a trip on the dating game. There was a TV show, The Dating Game. It was, it started off in the 60s, and then they had like a how they bring it back. Anyway, they had brought it back 1988, and I was a candidate. Anyway, so we had won a trip to Washington, D.C., and that was my experience in Washington, D.C. And here we are, fast forward, like over 35 years later, 35 years later. Wow, it's a long time. And anyway, so now here, yay, here go a member. All right, thank you so much. You see I'm trying to click on it. Let me see here. Where is it? Yay! All right. Deanna just became a channel member. Thank you so much. And this will go towards the fund for me going to Washington, D.C. and to stand and represent justice for Shanquella Robinson, and the members, I'm gonna do backstage, not backstage stuff, but I'll take y'all along with me and and show y'all, I don't know, like I'll be playing it by ear. I'll be playing it by ear. I've never been part of a protest or what is this, a march, I don't even know the difference, but I'm going out there, with in my heart, the support of y'all and just my desire to see justice for Shanquella Robinson. And yeah, because it was really hard. Like it was almost unbelievable when, the news came out to say that. Like it was such a slap in the face. However, we have been getting this same slap in the face since, since the beginning, since we've been over here, right? That's what we've been told and stuff like that. So, yeah. So thank you so much, Deanna, for becoming a channel member. And, we're going to do that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm playing it by ear, but that's one of the good things I'll do for the members. I'm going to be out there in the crowd and hopefully, I can be up front and personal and, at least give a big hug to Salamandra, because it was just really heartbreaking for me, because I feel like, maybe, people are trying to discourage them from seeking justice. It's like people, when there's folks have things to lose, it's way up there. It's like dude said, it's deeper than y'all think, right? And then it's a reason why this stuff is happening like this. So yes, extremely deeper than we all know. Thank y'all so much for coming out here. What's going on? TC, Daisy, and highly favored. Yeah, I have that one video too from you sent from the news. So we're gonna go over a few videos, and then what I'd like to do is to go over the old videos, because this doctor, whoever's, putting their name on the line for this new autopsy, when we hear from the physicians that Nancy Grace had brought us back in November and December to be able to see and, state the injuries and stuff like that. And then so many other nurses and stuff have, back when this thing was first happening, when we were building up big crowds and stuff, people, like, it's definitely has diminished. And that's exactly probably what they were hoping, that we would just get weary in well-doing and just let this thing die down so it can become a cold case. And, we would be sitting here marching and, but who knows, maybe this is an opportunity for us to put together a law, the Shanquella Robinson law, which will stop people from, taking people over to a foreign country, killing them, and just like Sue Ann Robinson said, get back to the U.S. and be like, I'm on base, So maybe that's what we're. Hey, all right, thank y'all so much. Another support here from. Hey, all right, thank you, Karen. All right, Karen is a new member. However, Karen has been contributing to the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel for a while with emails and support and all that good stuff. Thank you, Karen, for becoming a member. Like I said, I'm excited because, like I said, I'm excited. my I'm excited. I'm excited because this is happening May 19th, and I'm doing it. I am doing it. I'm doing it. Whenever I'm reading y'all's comments about, RN, keep going, RN, thank you for, keeping it hot. Thank you for, keeping her name out there, Shanquella Robinson. We keeping it hot for you to get justice, and we are going to do some groundbreaking stuff, and who knows, maybe there's like some law libraries or something like that. Washington D.C., I do remember from back in 1988 that there was a lot of museums. It's a lot of stuff on the Capitol, and saw the White House and all that stuff. So for those of y'all who do know some things, maybe you could even help steer me in some directions on places to go to check out and all that stuff. But we have a little bit of time, but I'm grateful that I'm going there to lift my voice, and y'all's voices behind me, empowering me with that. So thank you so much for becoming a member, Karen. And like I said, I'm just excited I just wanted to hold Salamandi when I saw that interview, because I can see the pain in her face, but she just wanted to, when somebody's just doing you wrong, sometimes you want to just try to make it show that it ain't affecting you, that you still strong in the inside. Is ripping you to pieces, and that's why I'm saying, y'all, we can't forget what happened, and that's what they want us to do. So I'm just excited. Oh, hey, look at here, another one. Y'all, we going out there, and like I said, I'll do the lives, from my phone. I'll get a nice little selfie stick, and I'll just be reporting, coming to you live from DC. And if I get the opportunity to be up in the faces with the questions and be like, okay, even breaking down what we did with John Q on showing the injuries, how they matched up, and swelling on the brain, you know what I mean? That is the cause. You can say that there's no such thing, with all of the information that they had listed, even on the fake autopsy report, matches up to the injuries that was shown, right? Matches up to the injuries that were shown. Thank you so much, the Me Watch, for becoming a channel member and showing support for justice for Shanquella Robinson. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yes, I'm excited. Like I said, I never done anything like this before. However, this is the perfect time, being a Gen Xer, to do something, right? Instead of sitting around talking about how, horrible the things are, and nobody cares, and the system and all this stuff. Like I said, on the last live, I never thought of myself, being political. I always wanted to shy away from talking about politics and religion, because, it's kind of, one of those subjects you stay out of, because people start judging and getting offended and feel like they want everyone to think a certain way, right? But you want to respect people's respect people, because no one is in any position to judge anybody, just right? Because he who is without sin can cast the first stone. Okay, so that's how we get down over here and focus on all that good stuff. All right, so, and I've been seeing some of y'all's comments and stuff like that. It's just really motivating. People are extreme, just devastated over this whole situation, and we got people coming back from the day, coming back up in here. Gloria Jordan says her mom says she will exhume the body for an independent autopsy. Yeah, I think, her being embalmed has nothing to do with an X-ray that would show the fractures on there, the broken neck. They're telling us, they're giving us a dry bologna sandwich, y'all, with this whole, they can't figure out, it's not enough evidence. It's not, right? That this is dry bologna sandwich because we saw it. And the original death certificate from the coroner's office, right? From the coroner's office. Highly favored said they have been manipulating us. One, they had issues with femicide. Then they said they don't trust Mexico justice after they said Mexico didn't provide extradition requests. Now, a questionable autopsy. Yes. Yes. Y'all, this is, this is something. This is really something. Like I said, I'm just, I'm ready. I'm ready to get training. We got a few weeks, 4 weeks, looks like it exactly, to working out our mental and our strategy and all that good stuff. So thank everybody who's been, helping by emailing me different, email me all the stuff, just like the last one, y'all had laced me up within the within the live with the video, with the autopsy report. Yes, my people, what's going on? Lila said there will be no justice. That's what they saying. But like I said, who knows, maybe this might be the time for us to do the research on how to get laws, like that Megan's law, or all these different laws when something horribly tragic happens and there's this loophole in the system, right? So maybe that's our voice, because nothing that's, really powerful is going to be easy. It's always going to be a challenge, right? And so that's why we're here 5 months later and, really nothing. But the thing, like I said, that we have to go on is math and science, right? What's going on, my beautiful family? Yes. So before we get started with our first video, I'm just going to, I want this to be dedicated to y'all. Like in the beginning, when we first got started, we was discussing the stuff off in the chat, and that's how we was doing things. Let's see here. So I'm going to pick out some of these things. Gloria George says, I'm so disappointed that the FBI won't file charges on Shanquella's death. Let them go back to Mexico and serve time. Yeah. It's almost like they purposely like set it up to where everybody can just be like, okay, well, it's out of our hands, right? Yeah, I'm disappointed too. That's why I'm saying, like, I know there's going to be some research done because just like Sue Ann said, we, brown people have to carve our own justice. So I think, getting there to Washington and doing something monumental like this, and then, like I said, I will be going live from the from the field, from this, I'm gonna be doing something, different, and I'm excited, and I'm hoping that I don't know, I'm hoping that our voices will be heard. That's always been the hope and the wish here, is to have a voice. All right. Hey, Karen says, good evening and welcome. Please hit the like button and subscribe button as you join us. Thank you, Karen. Let me see what these likes is looking like. All right, we somewhat close. We are somewhat close. All right, so also, let's see, we'll get started with some videos up in here, and then if y'all got something you want to say, we can do that too. Come on up here. Okay, I already read that. All right. Janet, also a member, says they actually regurgitated the police report from Mexico as part of their reason for not filing charges. What the hell is that about? BS. Wow. The Mexican police report. Yeah, I think, wow. Yeah, we're gonna see too. Once these videos get planned from this what's happening now, then we play the old videos and see how they did the little switcheroo. What's going on? Ella said she went to Mexico alive. She goes back home in a casket. Somebody make it make sense. Yeah, yeah. I think it's significant what Sue Ann said as far as and then too, we had discovered that people were going over there, dropping bodies in Mexico and then coming back over here to the US and getting away with it. This ain't nothing new. They've been coming back here, running, getting here on base. I'm safe. Right? What's going on, Sharon? Sharon says, truly outraged. Yes. Yes, me too. What's going on? Denithia says justice and some other nice emojis that's not quite coming through. And Gloria said FBI did an autopsy after she was embalmed, but how it was inconclusive. Exactly. Let Mexico take over and send them 6 people back for questioning. Dang. Yeah. Melanie says justice, and more justice for Shanquella. Love, yes. We still going. That's exactly what Mama said. She said we ain't stopping. Karen says at Gloria Jordan, good evening. The FBI has no jurisdiction over this. A federal crime was not committed. They can only honor an extradition request if they determine it's warranted. But Karen, when we listen back to those old videos, even when we listen to Nancy Grace, they were saying that we could get them for, that there is some federal charges and stuff. Like I said, y'all, I've been a nurse for the last 30 years. So the law stuff is something that, I never really looked off into. I just been a regular citizen, thinking I'm, abiding and following the laws. And, so this is something that is new that, I'm definitely looking off into. But just from listening to the older videos and stuff and hearing other people say, other attorneys say that they could, be charged with something here. So that's why it was such a gut punch to hear them say, oh, no, this is nothing. You see, Janice says the North Carolina FBI field office actually took the word of the criminals that Shanquella Robinson got up and went and fell in the bathroom, which was their original lie. Wow. And thank you, Janet. I did read one of your comments on one of the videos that said, that we should make sure that we note that it's the North Carolina FBI field that said that. So to me, this goes back to what Sue Ann was saying as far as high level diplomatic interventions, because maybe, a higher level of the FBI, that's not out there, because we did uncover that there could be some biases here, in this North Carolina, with the Cabo 6, having some connections there that, probably is trying to look the other direction or, help to sweep this under the carpet. So that's why, going to Washington, D.C. and anybody else who can just join the fight and do what we can here. Giselle says, we can't stop saying her name. Justice must be served, period. Yes, Giselle is correct. And TCDC says, I wish the family would have gotten an independent autopsy. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Let's find, let's go in and get one of these old videos. Let's see what our first a video is. Let me get on over on my little list here. Because yeah. And then like I said, y'all know I have I still have some cars out. Somebody's late returning a car and stuff. So just in case I may have to look away here and see what's going on. Please excuse. Let me see here. What this person is there. All right, they're getting here. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and see what our all right, our first video is going to be of the mother. This is the heartbreaking one here. It's short, but we're gonna break this down here and see what's going on. All right, so let me share the screen here. And thank y'all so much for coming out. I appreciate this, and like I said, this thing is new, and some people are just becoming aware of what's going on here. That they said, "Oh, ain't no evidence." Oh, let me see here and finish. Play this. Skip. All right.
Federal prosecutors say there is not enough evidence to pursue charges related to the death of American Shanquella Robinson, who died in Mexico last year. The 25-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina, died on October 29th. Her death certificate listed the cause of death as a spinal and neck injury. A video posted on.
All right, so remember in the beginning, that's what they were saying. The atlas luxation terminology came later. In the beginning, they were saying severe spinal cord injury and broken neck, right? From the coroners.
Line after her passing showed Robinson in a violent altercation with another woman.
An altercation, right? They see how they keep changing up the words and stuff like that. All right. And then this here says federal prosecutors will not file charges. No federal charges in death of Shanquella Robinson. And this is from the CBS News, and this here came out 3 days ago. So they didn't say nothing about Charlotte here. They're saying federal prosecutor.
Joined now by Salamandra Robinson, the mother of Shanquella Robinson. Salamandra, first of all, we're so sorry for your loss. What does it mean for your family to hear that federal charges will not be pursued?
We was very disappointed.
I'm sure. Were you surprised?
No, but I was disappointed.
Now, why y'all think she said no? We was disappointed. And he asked, were you surprised? No. Why y'all think she wasn't surprised? And already had this statement of being disappointed. Something that Sue Ann Robinson, the attorney, also said too. Y'all think that maybe they had already told her, she was already going to be prepared to be like, look, they probably not going to do nothing. It was almost like, why wasn't she surprised? Maybe because they had already indicated that they weren't going to do nothing. Or maybe they had already shown with their lack of doing anything that they weren't going to do nothing. Right? Because now, look, this has been going on for almost a half a year.
Because the simple fact is that they had enough evidence due to the video that was online, and they said it wasn't enough evidence, but I don't believe. And then they say that they don't know what was the cause of her death, but the cause of her death was due to the fight, from what we could see.
Did y'all hear the drop in her voice? right? She can't even think of her words. They didn't just you can see and hear how badly she's been gaslit to where even she said the fight. We think it's because of the fight. And that's why we got to help her. She sounded so helpless. They have ignored the family and just done a horrible injustice to them. Can hear the pain in the voice.
And she said she didn't have a broken neck, and she also died from the swelling on the brain, but she also was beaten.
The swelling on the brain. How come that's not a cause of death? They listed these injuries. I'm suspicious of the autopsy from the FBI. Suspicious. It sounds bogus.
So you can give me I feel that someone should have been arrested due to that, but they're trying to say that it didn't. So I might have to have her body exhumed because we need another autopsy.
Wow. And
I think they just took advantage of the mother, the family. TCDC said, I wish the family would have gotten an independent autopsy. She said, I might have to have the body exhumed. She doesn't even know for sure what her move is. This is so heartbreaking. Y'all heard? Listen to the words here.
wow. And I'm sure all of this being said by a mom, these are just unimaginable things to be discussing about your daughter. Where does your fight for justice go at this point?
We're going to keep going. We will be in Washington on May the 19th.
All right.
And your lawyers criticized the lack of urgency from U.S. authorities in this case. What do you feel should have been done differently?
I feel that they should have took this case and took it serious when it first happened. They didn't step up to the plate and do what they needed to do from the very beginning. They said it was out of their hands, but it looked like to me they didn't try to do anything, and they really failed my family.
Yeah.
As being the FBI and the government here, we has really been failed.
Oh, okay. Look here. Look what they showing. This here, this here is the report that came back that Sue Ann and Ben Crump put out there from Mexico, from the witnesses, right? The two statements from the two witnesses, which were the Cabo Villa employees, the concierge and the other staff member that they didn't name, right? This is what is being presented. This is what they went by. Not the original death certificate that was out back in November when this first came out. It sounds like they're on this, they are working together to not give any justice and not any country be held responsible. Mexico got their hands clean, and now America could say their hands are clean. And in the meantime, this young, black, beautiful woman is not going to get any justice. But we're not going out like that. We're not going out like that, even if we have to learn how to make the new laws, a new law called the Shanquella Law, which will, hold the people responsible who try to take somebody to a foreign country, embody them, and then run back home and say, I'm on base.
you know, because my daughter didn't deserve to die like that.
No, she
And brother was in Mexico or wherever it was. And they need to make a law to let people know that you can't go out of town and do nothing to someone and come back and think that you's okay with it.
We just said that. She said they need to make a law, yes. And just like Sue Ann Robinson said, her attorney said that Black people, brown people gotta, have been known, we gotta carve our own way, right? Mama just said that somebody need to make a law. Somebody need to make a law. Somebody need to make a law. And that's we the people. We the people. In order to form.
There was a video. Everybody seen the video. So there should have been some charges should have been made.
Yes.
And I'm talking about here in the United States.
We're focusing on the legal process and moving forward. But just for a moment before we go, can you describe what this has been like to go through as a family?
It's been a nightmare. The whole 5 months ain't been nothing but a nightmare to me.
All right, Salamander Robinson, thanks so much.
Yeah, wow. And you can see the frustration on her mother's face, how many more of these interviews I got to go through. But, we think back on, the mothers from the past that had to, go through this stuff. And, so fast forward these years later and we're still doing it here, still being denied justice and all that stuff here. Janet says, just think about it. If we all are devastated, imagine how Shanquella Robinson family feels. Yeah. The other day when I was just reflecting back on this, let me just even show this. Look at her face. I feel so, look at her face. Just like you said, how devastating and frustrating. It's like, hey, it's so obvious. We got all this visual evidence, just like Ben Crump said, right? And that's why we got to keep watching the video. We got to keep it out there so they don't try to get us distracted and say that didn't happen. We see on that little 14 seconds of the video, her getting her neck broken. We saw that. Even if y'all want to say the swelling on the brain, we saw that too. When she kicked her head like a soccer ball, we saw it. What's going on, PM Channel? PM Channel says at Denitha Jones, the reward would be offered if the U.S. for any new information to reinstate the case, not a reward in Mexico. Oh, I missed something there. The U.S. ain't trying to do nothing. The U.S., the next video that I play y'all is going to be quite disturbing when you hear, how, basically they just saying, oh, it's nothing more here to do. Y'all, there's no justice going to be done. Let's see here. Denitha said at PM Channel, they should do a cash. Okay, I should have read this one first. A cash for Mexican citizens because it would be worth more in peso flyers at the airport, shopping center, store, Uber, etc. Yeah, we had saw some videos where, Mexico doesn't even prosecute or question the people that are, responsible for the femicides in their own country. So in the beginning, I was from the opinion that we weren't going to get any, don't try to even look at Mexico for justice. We need to get justice right here in the good old US of A. However, I was not thinking that we was going to be slapped in the face by the USA, So, yeah, this is really super duper sad here. Tina says, Irene, you never know God has chosen you for a reason. Oh, you may make a big statement being there. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. I do, because it's really, I really I didn't want the job. Like I didn't want, I rather wanted to just be in my own little space and all that stuff. But sometimes, you have to just be uncomfortable to, do the right thing. And, like I said, I'm just going by spirit. Whenever I'm feeling like, okay, oh, I think I'm done here, then boom, these things happen. And, caused me to go off into a different direction. See, highly favored says TCDC remember Zuniga interview with the Mexican prosecutor. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't think that I watched it because that was during the time when I started to see all of the lies and the, bones. And so I was like turned off and I did not, I was just like, these are lies here. So I didn't, but I do remember, yeah, because I think you even sent me like the links and stuff. But no, I was as soon as I would hear like a lie or something like that, I would stop listening. I just didn't do that. I didn't go continue to listen on. I couldn't, because I was like, I'm gonna point these things out. And then I know some people are sensitive and not really willing to hear the truth. However, I can't be always worried about people's feelings. The truth sometimes hurts. And sometimes, like I said, as the nurse, you have to do things to people that is uncomfortable. And sometimes administering the truth is going to be uncomfortable. And unfortunately, I'm just going to have to do it. So, like I said, nothing personal, but we're going to, all right. Exactly. I agree, Arian. Thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate the confidence here. Karen says that all around natural beauty. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right, y'all coming in here good and stuff like that. So let's go ahead. We're gonna get. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Did I? I didn't bless our chat with our acts of faith, and we're gonna be doing that too, y'all. Y'all keep up the positive energy for travel mercies and all that stuff, and for some type of resolution or a game plan, right? Because who knows, maybe we might be the founders of this new Shanquella Robinson law, the Shanquella Robinson law, and be able to, get justice for people, because I'm sure Shanquella's mama, them not the first ones that this happened to. But like I said, the beauty in this situation is that we got it on video. So Acts of Faith, a book by Yana Van Zett. We've been keeping up with this. This book was written, copyright back in 1993. It is daily meditations for people of color. However, we know that this is just daily medication. Medication. Meditation is medication, though. Medication for the soul. But daily meditations for all people. And today is April the 16th. And it says, your world is as big as you make it. And that is by Georgia Douglas Johnson. Aniana says, guess what? You are not the worst person in the world. Sure, you may have made some bad judgment calls, taken some pretty foolish chances, created some awful situations, but you give yourself too much credit. Others have done far worse. Then there are those people who haven't done anything to anybody ever. They are quiet, go unnoticed. They are flawless characters and records. They have flawless characters and records. But you know what? They haven't done anything for themselves either. They are probably just as, if not more, miserable and confused as you. Think about this. The future will be what you make it today. Whether you are a doer or a non-doer. You must work on your future. If you've made a mess, clean it up. If you are afraid to take a chance, take one anyway. If you've done things that didn't work, do something else. If you have done nothing, do something. What you don't do can create the same regrets as the mistake you make. In the long run, either you must happen to life or it will never happen for you. Step by step, I am getting better and better. Yes. And I really do feel that way. Like I said, back in November, 23rd, when we first did this live on the Shanquella thing, I was totally agreeing to this whole thing. And, like I said, step by step, I'm getting better and better. And here we are, fast forward 5 months later, and I'm talking about being an activist and going on a march, or what is this a march or protest? Yeah, I'm doing whatever the thing is. I'm doing it. I'm supporting it, and I'm going to be a part of it, and I'm super excited. And thank y'all so much for the encouragement. All right, let's see what our next video is going to be here. All right, so that was that. What's this here? Oh, no, that's mine. I don't want to do that one. All right, so I'm going to do this here quick one from Highly Favored. This here is a good one here, I think. All right. Oops. All right, here we go. Here's our contribution from Highly Favored here. Let me do a few more comments really quick so I don't get too far behind. All right. Hey, what's going on? Nana's W Corner says, so Van, the local authorities do New York calls. If the Cabo Six get away with this, it will indeed set a bad P. Let's see. I don't see any extra to that. But yeah, I think it's really, to me, it's like letting them know that, hey, here's a way to get away with murder. Just follow this here cookie cutter plan. Like I was telling y'all before, Mexico had the cookie cutter excuse, right? So that's why this was a thing. This was a thing. Deanna says, don't you get to say this stuff and then go to your tube, Facebook, etc., to see what's being said. They watch, and that's why we can't put misinformation out there. Yes. I agree with you. All right, so here we go with this share. Okay, here we go. This here's our contribution from Highly Favored. And it says, former prosecutor offers expert analysis on Shanquella Robinson case. All right.
Looking for a reason after a surprising decision. Yesterday, we brought you breaking news in the Shanquella Robinson case. Her family's attorney confirmed U.S. prosecutors will not pursue criminal charges in connection to her death after she died while on vacation in Cabo, Mexico last October. This comes despite video showing Robinson involved in an assault. The investigation left conflicting autopsies from Mexico and U.S. officials.
Wow.
WBTV reached out to the Mexican government today about the U.S. declining to file charges. Mexico offered no comment.
Y'all hear that? Mexico was like, oh, no comment. Right? Once they heard that U.S. ain't touching it, now all of a sudden Mexico then went mute. Right? Remember, they kept saying, oh, no, it's the U.S. They had plenty to say then. We filed the papers. We said this, that, and the other. We asked them to extradite. We waiting on them.
This latest turn in the saga left her family disappointed. And now we're left wondering what's next. Today, our Lowell Rose spoke with a former federal prosecutor talking about what got us to this point and if it's possible for the case to go much further.
Wow.
Here's part of their conversation.
Listen up, y'all.
The FBI has released their statement indicating that they don't plan on filing any charges after investigating Shanquella's case. So we're here today. We're disappointed, but we're not deterred.
Ms. King's press release from the United States Attorney's Office, I think, spoke pretty clearly that they just don't have sufficient evidence to bring federal charges.
Wow.
And when you look at the medical examiner's report, which you all have put on your website,
Look at that. Right? This is what they saying is listen to how this is boom, right? Months later. This says the date of the exam was November 17th. December, January, February, March, April. Why did they wait 5 months to put this out?
BBTV's website in full. Dr. Owens'
No
narrative.
fractures are seen on the posterior of the spinal column. How do you get, in the beginning, they said severe spinal cord injury. Severe. And now you come back 5 months later and say no fractures? Really?
Sets forth clearly that he cannot attribute a cause of death. He cannot opine as to why Ms. Robinson died. If a prosecutor, whether it's in state court in a murder case or in federal court in a murder case, doesn't have an expert, does not have a forensic pathologist who can get on the stand and opine as to the cause and manner of death, you can't prove a murder case. So based upon Dr. Owens' opinion,
even her verbiage, her words that she's saying, everything's so final, you cannot, right? It'll be difficult to prove. This doesn't even sound reasonable how she's talking. Everything is so definite and end of story. Listen to what she's just said here. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit.
Have a forensic pathologist who can get on the stand and opine as to the cause and manner of death. You can't prove a murder case.
You cannot. That doesn't even sound the right language. They usually would say it will be difficult to prove. You wouldn't just say you cannot. Oh, it's over. Oh, it's over. It'll be difficult to prove. She's trying to get it shut down. She's trying to get the family and us to accept no justice.
So based upon Dr. Owens' opinions or lack of opinions.
All right, key word right there. Based on Dr. Owens' opinions or lack of opinions, not a diagnosis. She said opinion or lack of opinion, right? When I played the Nancy Grace tape and she had physicians on there making their statements, their opinions, right? There's clues in the words here. You got to listen.
As to Ms. Robinson's cause of death and how she died, there is an essential element that the government.
So it's his opinion.
government simply cannot meet to bring a murder charge. And it's unfortunate, but I see where the U.S. Attorney's Office is coming from once I read that medical examiner's report. In my opinion, I think the chances for a federal prosecution are over.
Look at that. Look at her face. The chances are over. How dare you?
I believe Ms. King's office spoke to it. Obviously, this case, as any case that involves the murder of an American citizen.
Oh, did you hear that? She said murder. Did y'all hear that? Let me pull it back, right? Like I said, the truth be mixed in there with the lies. That's how they do it.
For a federal prosecution are over. I believe Ms. King's office spoke to it. Obviously, this case, as any case that involves the murder of an American citizen.
The murder of an American citizen.
Citizen by another American citizen in a foreign country, that is going to be escalated to the highest levels at the Department of Justice. So I think the chances for a federal prosecution, absent new evidence coming to light, I think the hopes for a federal criminal prosecution are completely extinguished. There's not going to be any.
Completely distinguished. Wow. Wow. Completely distinguished.
State jurisdiction, because it did happen in Mexico. So I'm sure at this point, Ms. Robinson.
And notice how she's trying to make sure that, even she said the state, there's don't even go to the state because this happened in another country.
Family and her lawyers are probably assessing whether or not a civil case could be viable against the people that they believe to be responsible for Ms. Robinson's death. And I am confident that it's very frustrating for Ms. Robinson's loved ones to have video of her being assaulted, and it seems like no one's being held accountable. But
seems like
the statute that allows for federal prosecution is in this type of scenario is very specific, that the government has to prove that there was a killing. And without a forensic pathologist to get on the stand and say there was an intentional homicide and this is the cause of death, the United States Attorney's Office's hands are tied. They really don't have a case to bring because they cannot prove the elements of a murder in federal court.
Some helpful context to all of this. WBTV News continues to closely monitor any new developments in the Shanquella Robinson case. You can follow our coverage constantly on air, our social media pages, and our website, WBTV.com.
We will. All right, let me get back over here, fix that up there. Wow. Did y'all hear those clues in there, though? Right? You got to listen to them words. Listen to them words. Deanna says, they're saying these people out there can't even agree on it. How are we going to get jurors that will? Yeah. Especially with all the sad stories people have put out there. It's disgusting. That's why we sticking to the math and the science. We sticking to the truth. Those videos. We aren't worried about all these little news stories and stuff. We going back to the beginning. What we knew. Yeah, I feel you on that. Karen says at HF, if could be propaganda, but allegedly Mexico found out about the GoFundMe page and thought the family would come over and make a contribution. All right, Janet Jenkins says the people that live in North Carolina wasn't surprised about the decision because they know how the police and the FBI in that state works against Black people. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. It did sound like, one of those jumping through the hoops type of bologna sandwich they used to feed to the black people back in the day, like how, when we had the right to vote, but then you had to count how many jelly beans was in the jar before you could actually, all these little bologna, hoop jumping tricks they would put us through. This whole, that's what I'm saying. Like, listen to her words, how she's saying, it's absolutely no way that, it's done. It's finished, it's done. It's so. Highly favored to the FBI autopsy showed more physical injuries. And they couldn't put together, it was undecided. How 25-year-old with all these injuries? That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a bologna sandwich as far as like the autopsy. It's impossible that it could be undecided or inconclusive. Because you identified all these injuries, swelling on the brain. No one just walks around with brain swelling. That's related to trauma. So, and like I said, she said opinion, right? So not the doctor's findings, right? So I think, this might be some state, little secret, like the state people, state there keeping this covered. Like, get the, y'all, I'm the dustpan, you the broom, let's sweep this stuff up, get rid of it here. So yeah. I'm I feeling like I'm seeing through some of this here baloney saying, oh, let me go look here. We got some paper up in the house. Let me scroll down and see here. Welcome back to some of these folks from the past here. What's up, Raul? Raul said, did you notice that the U.S. autopsy showed hemorrhaging on the frontal lobe and the parietal lobe? So that sounds like a good cause of death, right? All the bleeding on the brain, huh? Yeah, so that's baloney. They didn't have no talking about they don't know. Look at, yeah, hey, what's going on? Anisha says, we're still in this fight with the family. God take the jurisdiction for Shanquella Robinson. All right, thank you. Yeah, we still fighting. We still in it. All right, new member here. The Meanwhile says it's an ongoing case. And the coroner said the post-concessive apnea diagnosis post-concessive apnea diagnosis could not be excluded. Post-concessive apnea is defined as blunt force trauma with acute ethanol intoxication. Post-concessive apnea is not breathing. Post-concessive, I don't think, let me see here. Those words don't match up. Let me see here. Post. Yeah, something about them. Let me put it on my computer so I can show it to all y'all. But this doesn't have anything to do with no blunt force head trauma, and alcohol is not even mentioned in there. So let me see here. We go over here to the computer, and let's see. Close out some of these boxes, and we shall put this here in this here search engine, and then I'll share the screen with y'all so we can all be on one accord with this here post concessive. I've never even. Oh, wait a minute. CUSS. Uh-oh. Sorry, y'all. I just know apnea is stopping breathing. right. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. You put it in the short with acute alcohol intoxication. I can't even see your term here. Let me see here. Impact brain apnea and a forgotten cause of cardiovascular collapse trauma. And see here, the Me Watch. Where'd you get this information from? Let me see here. Let me that's what I'm saying. I can't find this here thing here. It's talking about apnea is absence of breath, not sleeping. Let's see, that ain't what it is here. All right, I'm still working on you over there. I see it on my phone, but I can't seem to find it on my computer here. Try one more again. Just copy paste. Yeah. All right. Thank y'all so much for stopping by here. Let's see, where am I at? Holy smokes. You're taking me to all around the world. Neurology. All right, so I'm going to come back to your comment here. Maybe read it again. It's an ongoing case, and the coroner said the post-concussive apnea diagnosis could not be excluded. And which coroner said this one here? Post-concussive apnea is defined as blunt force head trauma with acute ethanol intoxication. I don't know. This I can't find it. I can't find it. Tina says, I feel sorry for the family having to go through all this in order to get justice, and we should not be stepped on like a piece of trash. I agree. Deanna says, look, it's simple. They thought Quilla never called anyone or spoke to anyone after. I don't care what happened in between. We all know that's enough to charge. Yes. I agree with you. Ross says, it's saying greetings. Hello to the chat. Hey, what's going on, darling Darla? Says, there's start a civil case. Yeah. Justice for Shanquella. Boycott Mexico. Boycott Cabo. Yes. Deanna says, I guess we should really look into how they prosecute over there. Like, what evidence is needed? Is it easier than here? I think that's what we need to start looking at. I think that this was what they wanted, to just do this ping pong thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, the ball just, went to the gutter. Because in the beginning, Mexico originally said that there was no evidence of foul play, and originally said that it was alcohol intoxication and no evidence of foul play. So and a cardiac arrest due to alcohol intoxication. So I don't think Mexico was seriously trying to prosecute anything. See, thank you for staying on top of Shanquella's case. Yeah, we trying over here. trying to stay on top of it and not get shaken off by these, distractions. And see, Deanna says, because if we send Deja there, could she use this autopsy here as a defense? How many autopsies? It's been so many. Anisha says, we're still here in the fight. Yes, I think I already read that one. Karen says, at Janet Jenkins, come on, Janet, I live in Charlotte. Karen, you live in Charlotte. You did say that. I remember that too. I am very familiar with the South and how some people think, but the Charlotte division of FBI can't do a thing. That's why S.A. SAR said high level. SAR said high level diplomatic intervention. Yes. All right. Sharon says, I will join real soon. Keep forgetting to load card to do it. Oh, it's all good. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yes. So what we were saying is that, RN is going to Washington, D.C., May 19th. And y'all was showing support to the channel with, joining and all that good stuff. Ross says, I think Mexico would use their own autopsy. Yeah, which one was, which one? The one that they said had the broken neck and stuff like that? See, Deanna says, right. But would Deja be able to show the FBI one as a defense? Yeah, well, according, they saying FBI ain't doing nothing. What's up, Shin You Ray? Hey. All right, Jen says, remember when police told us when the cop had his knee on George Floyd's neck that he died of a heart attack and the cop didn't unalive him. And his family had to go further also to get justice. Yes, that is a great point. Janet. Great point. Yeah, and I think that's what's happening right now here. So, we was told it was going to be a long fight, and it's happening. It's happening. It's definitely long here. Ross says, I doubt it, but not really sure. Deanna says, you see what I'm saying? We need to figure out at this point where the best place to prosecute them will be, because now we have conflicting info, so they will be able to use that in their defense. Yes. Femicide rate of conviction is outrageous. They do not care about women in Mexico, which is why I was surprised the autopsy was done so quickly. Yeah, and like I said too, that autopsy from Mexico, I don't believe it either, because the original coroner's report was in opposition of that. And the autopsies didn't come out until months later, after it had been through the YouTube streets and we was doing our own detective work, pointing out the unfolding the case and showing the evidence and actually giving, we was pointing out all the stuff. And then all of a sudden they come out with this bogus autopsy to address our, findings, the things that we saw, and they tried to support the lies that they told us about. They had given the CPR and did all this stuff. So, yeah. Hey. All right, Jen. Hey, Karen, how come they couldn't do anything? Highly Favored says, so many charges can be added to cause of death: aggravated assault, intention to cause harm, and bodily damage, destroying evidence, cover up, fleeing the scene of the crime, SA assault, and more. Wow. Okay, so we got the people, I'm glad y'all speaking out on this here too. Deanna says, I would say at this point, though, we need to go with whoever we are sure is going to lock them up and for the most charges. And I know that it's 50-50 here, but I don't know Mexico. Yeah, I don't think anybody, they ain't trying, y'all. We got to get this justice here. Highly favored said, because Mexico now it's like no comment. No comment. They ain't saying nothing. They ain't saying nothing. Let me get off on this. And I'm here. Let's go on and get another video here. This here. Okay, this is Nancy Grace. But before we do Nancy Grace, let's hear Shanquella's dad, what he was saying back in the beginning when this thing first happened. We're going to listen to this here interview here. Janet Jenkins says, I can only imagine that she was scared out of her mind while demons watch her being attacked. Yes. Yeah, horrible. Sharon says, hi, all beauties in the chat. Please, let's help RN get her likes up. Thank you so much, Sharon. Likes not matching chat. Only 14 likes and 55. What? Let's see here. I might be behind on that. Okay. I see 60 likes and 68 folks in the chat. So I'm probably, I'm behind. Let me scroll. Oh, my goodness. Oh. When did all this happen? All right, so let me see here. We're going to go to our next video, but I do see some new names here. Let me just say hey to the new people coming up in here. Here's TT said, I heard from her mouth Shanquella's mom is going to request a third autopsy. Ooh, this is horrible. They putting this poor people through all this stuff. Good. All right. Sharon says, Tina, thank you. All right. Yes. Thank y'all so much for coming up in here. The Jessica, what's going on? Hey, what's up? Melanie B says her mom said she may exhume her body. Yes. Yeah. I don't even think all that's necessary. We got this. It's so much. It's already there to prove. Janet Jean says, regardless to what the U.S. or Mexico autopsies say, the main injury occurred during the attack, but Shanquella Robinson had a lot of unexplained injuries on her body. So if they're going to say that she had all these injuries on her body, how can they not say they don't know what the cause of her demise is? She had injuries. Where did the injuries come from? Deanna says, I would wait to exhume until the 19th. I think we need to keep an option open for right now. See, LaJessica says, it's like they just believed Cabo's 6 word and decided they are all telling the truth all of a sudden when they started with a lie. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sylvia. Hey, what's up, Sylvia Black says, I agree, Karen. The attorney knew this from the beginning. Uh-oh, I must have missed something. Because this is Deanna says, because I'm pretty sure they are going to get the same results, and then it will be 2 without Atlas, and they wouldn't be able to extradite. Okay, so we're going to go and see what Papa is saying. This is an interview from Shanquella's dad. Sorry. That was loud. That was super loud. All right, let me share. All right, so this here was it was 4 months ago. Let's see here. All right, so this here is dated December the 16th.
Them braids, everybody wanted to say how beautiful she was on the outside, but she was a beautiful person in the inside. So this father right here will mostly, on her about her, morals, respect, manners, setting goals in her life, just making sure that she don't look.
All right. Taraji FR says, I believe and heard Elise Hyatt father is buddies with the government of North Carolina. They were on the football team together. Yeah, I heard they that Elise people was, connected to up in there. Ross says, I'm in Cali. Okay. All right, so we're gonna bet. Taraji also said Ben Crump and Sue Ann isn't playing around with them. Yeah. All right. So I want us to hear what the father is saying. Then we're going to listen to Nancy Grace, who's going to have physicians on there calling out the broken neck. We got so much here, so much proof, y'all. Let's see here. Or if y'all got something to say, y'all want me to drop the link, put a 1 in the chat if y'all just want to come up and talk. And because we've seen these videos and stuff, we kind of already know what's going on. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to open up to come up here and give testimony or just express your feelings and all that good stuff. We can take that route. I'm gonna let this play.
Down on nobody, Because a blink of an eye, you can be in that position the same like that person that you're looking down on. So always, respect your elders.
Yeah.
If you can help anybody in a kind of way to help them, But going through high school, junior high, I had officers to deal with her because y'all didn't believe me now. She got off track a lot. But yeah, that's just part of life, but still at the same time, as that father that made sure that you want an education, you want your daughter to be something, but be successful in her own way, and to make sure that, you put those qualities in her that she can go out here and do for her own. You're gonna have some ups and downs. That's what I tell her, but still at the same time, you learn from your mistakes and you move on. And you put yourself around people, positive people who going places. I always tell her, if you're the smartest one out of 6 of y'all, 7 of y'all, then that's where you need to come. You need to start evaluating everybody that's in your circle, because you shouldn't be the smartest one out of that group around you or your group of friends. Not at all. If it is, you got a problem. You got a problem. I wasn't perfect at all, at a younger age, but as I grew, I learned from the mistakes that I made in life.
I see some 1s.
And I told myself I bring a daughter in this world, or a son in this world, that I definitely gonna be in their life, from day one. Make sure they had what they had. They weren't gonna go without.
Got a link there. There is the link. And while we're waiting on folks to come up here, y'all have said you wanted to come up here. We could, it's there. I'll switch over to Nancy's talk. Wow, if anybody, y'all see the link is there. Let me pin it. Pin it. All right, so the link is in. Oh, where's my pin? Oh, I can't pin it because that's not my thing there. All right, so that is, the link is in the chat. I just dropped it, but I can't pin on this side here, or can I? Let me see. No. All right. So anyway, it's there. we could have Nancy in the background going, or I like to do some shorter ones. Hers is pretty long too. We can just drop a couple of little recent ones, or I know a good idea. We can go watch some of these shorts that are put out, and that's very short, and we could show. Oh, all right, here we go. Yes, perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm gonna bring up a special guest here, Miss Sharon. All right. Hey, Sharon. Thank you for
Hi,
hitting the link.
and you're welcome. I'm glad got to this point where I can start speaking out. Before it was very, very hard and very emotional, but I
Yeah.
truly, truly understand what Miss Robertson is going through. And every time I look at her face, it just reminds me of myself.
Yeah.
Because it's truly a shame that, here you have to deal with the loss of your child. And then you also have to deal with all of this, I'm going to say BS, that they
Yeah.
throw at you to try to cover up, of the stories that they give us,
Yeah.
And I've had the same issue with, the people that unalived my daughter in the police
Do you mind telling the chat
by the
what happened
story they
with your
gave
daughter?
them. Say that again.
I said, do you mind sharing with us
Say
a
that.
part of your testimony with your daughter? Your connection,
Yes,
how you
I'll
feel?
share it. On February the 15th in 2022, I received a call at 5 o'clock in the morning from my daughter, highly upset, saying, Mom, she going, Mom, she going. I'm like, what is you talking about? She's like, Mom, she going, twin going. And she was an identical twin.
Mm.
So I'm like, Ashita, what is you talking about? What? So she tells me, well, her friend called me and said that they said that she was killed by multiple cars. She was coming from work on her mini bike, and she was killed ran over by multiple cars
Wow.
at 10 o'clock at night, right in front. Really, she barely got away from the job. From what I seen when I went out there, she pretty much looked like was coming out the driveway, and she was hit. Because the other thing is, they said that when she left the driveway of the job, it was around 10:37, and they pronounced her dead at 11 o'clock. So she couldn't have gotten that far. But then they trying to give us the story that she was in the middle of the road.
Wow.
And when the guy hit her. But when we go to the scene, her belongings, her gloves, and you could tell the gloves fit her hand perfectly because the prints was in them. They're on the hill of the job and by the sewer, as well as her. She had a iPod that she used to put on her bike, and record. The stand was by the sewer and a few other things. The funny thing is, they said they was able to recover her two small phones. The iPod they weren't able to recover, and that was bigger than the phone. So it's just a lot of stuff about this case. So it took
Right.
us 9 months, and I had
Oh,
attorneys on here, on the case. 9 months to get a police report, and I have been asking for a medical report for the longest.
wow.
Last year I asked for it. They requested. They sent me a letter saying that they couldn't give it to me because the investigation was ongoing. So I had called, and if I needed other information, called the prosecutor. But so in calls the prosecutor in March. March 7th. office, and they said, the prosecutor wasn't available, but her case was supposed to be closed. So I think it was like April 16 or so, I requested another, I put in another request for the copy of her medical records. She sent me another email back. They couldn't provide it because the investigation was still open. Now, mind you, I said they told me it was closed on March 7th. I'm calling in April, this month, and they still denying me a medical report. So my thing is, if you're telling me she was, unalive by this mini bike, and I'm asking you for medical reports, why aren't you giving me this stuff? I've even asked, in the beginning to go see her bike and take pictures of it. The police told me what time to call. When I call, he's not available. They call, at so-and-so tomorrow. Call, then he's not available. We kept calling and never got him. So I've never gotten a chance to see the bike. I called to when they said the investigation was over to see if we can get the bike. It was like, well, you can't, you have to get paperwork from the prosecutor saying that the investigation is over. And then when the lawyer backed out of the case, told me, well, they said the investigation is over. And he was like, well, y'all don't want to keep the bike, do you? So I said, yes, we do. So he was like, oh, well, they were saying if y'all wanted the bike, you got to pay $17,000. Are you serious?
Wow.
So this is the type of stuff, and I done had 3 lawyers on this just to pull out, and just leave us hanging, who said they were going to take it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have.
So we're just left, like I said, I've called. Say that again.
I was saying that we have people in the chat, sorry for your loss and offering you condolences.
Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. So, it's just an ongoing fight. And then I had found out, after getting the police report, the stuff that I seen in the police report, we had never even heard until we got this police report 9 months later. All we knew was she was in a multi-car accident and stuff. But we get the police report, we seeing, other stuff where somebody said they followed her to work, and then they called the police telling her about her being on the bike, on the highway or whatever. Long story short, my daughter was not depending on his bike to get her to work every day. When she got hired at this job, she got hired through a friend, and she asked the job to, make sure her schedule is the same with hers, because she'll be riding with her. And they said, okay. So the girl said her car got in an accident. So in order for them to save money, they had got a hotel room and started going from the hotel to the job, to get to the job. But she said when they started doing that, the job changed my daughter's schedule and made it different from theirs. And so my daughter didn't have a way to get there. So this is why she went and got the bike to ride.
Oh. So what are your suspicions, Sharon? A lot of times we have our own gut suspicions.
I know that area. I know that area very well, and I know I used to live up there. This was in New Jersey, and I know the police there are very I'm trying to find the right words to even describe it, but they're very cold. They don't want to hear nothing. If you say, but sir, don't say nothing, be quiet, whatever. This is how they are. And even when I went to the police place to pick up my daughter's belongings, the man just seemed so cold, so detached. and everything. So I kind of feel like, because I know my daughter, I feel like if they approach my daughter in the wrong way and she felt like she was right, she's going to speak up about it. And I'm feeling like they beat my daughter. Because they, in the report, it said her face was bashed in.
Wow. Wow.
Her daughter is sitting here, right here next to me, and she wanted to say something.
Hey,
Okay.
Guys,
You can come.
I just had, a few things that I wanted to say about this case, because I was in the same area as my mom when this stuff went down. I wasn't there when it happened, but I was not too far from, where it happened. So, I just wanted to put, my 2 little cents in, and I feel like what my grandmother said was definitely right, based off of the picture that we seen. They only one that they did send, it looked like they had like bruises on her arm, like fingerprint bruises, like someone grabbed her hard.
That was one of the picture that they sent us to identify the body, because they told us they would suggest us not to see the body.
Wow.
And not to show the body. Yeah. So we never seen the body. All we seen was her tattoo on her arm, and it did look like a bruise. And the other thing they in the first reports, because as soon as my daughter told me about it that morning, I went to my phone to Google the accident. And when I went to my phone to Google the accident, I was able to bring up reports about the accident right away. And I'm like, this 5 o'clock in the morning, and this supposed to have happened at 10. I mean, she's supposed to have been unalive at 11 o'clock, and already reports was already out. And in the reports, it immediately started saying that my daughter had on dark clothes. She didn't have lights on her bike and all that. And come to find out, the clothes she had on was dark because that was her uniforms from the job, but they never even mentioned that. And the other thing is, when I get the police report, then it says she had front lights, and they claim she didn't have back lights. But if you don't have back lights, you still got those red reflectors. And the other thing I wanted to bring up, and I kind of lost my thought because I get excited talking about it. But yeah, they said she was hit in her back tire. So anytime somebody's hit in the rear, usually the person that hit you in the rear is at fault.
Yeah.
But if that was what happened, we really don't know. We're hearing from the people that did it. You see what I'm saying?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
And being a person who experienced how brutal these policemen are firsthand in front of my eyes with another person that was close to me, I truly believe, in my heart that that's what happened, that they beat her to death. Because think about it, make it make sense. If she was hit by multiple cars, her whole body would be interrogated, first of all. Her head wouldn't even be attached to her body. There would be blood everywhere. Like she would be in pieces.
We didn't even see blood in the street when we went.
Thank you.
Mm.
It's a lot to the case. It's a lot to the story. And, we have just been trying to piece it together. And,
these cover-ups are kind of common out there.
Yes, that's why I kept saying it's so similar, even though it's a different.
They'll give you a
incident.
story, say this is how it happened, and then a lot of times families don't have a way to prove that that's not what happened. Just a gut feeling. A lot of times, our guts will tell us when something's wrong. Like, even with Shanquella's family, they were suspicious, like alcohol poison. Like, hey, no, these don't add.
Right.
These facts add up.
It doesn't add up.
Right.
Exactly.
And immediately I felt that. Immediately.
Same.
Yeah.
And it's like for us as a family, this has been extremely hard. And especially for my grandmother, because she's dealing with most of it. My grandmother's dealing with most of it. But for her to take on this in our everyday lives,
Yeah,
it's too much, especially when we have freedom trying to do it the proper way, and have received no help. So it's like we do at this point. It's like I and tired that I am, the rebel that I am. It's like making me want to just start a war, but
yeah,
I'm not. I'm a.
yeah. You guys' audio is
Right.
a little choppy. Y'all's audio is a little choppy. But what I want to say before I let you go, we're going to use, that's why we're standing here using the umbrella of justice for Shanquella Robinson. So once we leverage that, we can go and demand some, we'll use the same cookie cutter situation that we do to get justice for Sharon and her family by, empowering ourselves to win from that case. Win from that case.
Can you hear me now, RN? Okay,
Yeah,
we had to go outside. I couldn't hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, and it sounds a lot better. Yep. So we can see here how throughout time these kind of things have been happening. They've been doing this kind of unjust to Black people really easy by just giving us the story, and then we aren't able to get information or answers from you said you couldn't get your hospital records, and then the police are telling you one thing, and there's it's like a closed case. So it's like they're saying it, you're not going to get any justice, and expecting for us to just be quiet and just accept it. But we are lifting our voices, come together, because it's strength in numbers. And once we can come together and actually get that justice, we can go back and start, picking out all of the issues that we have.
It's needed for both of them. Like it's for a community. Who knows how many other families had to deal with this? You know what I'm saying? And just never spoke out or never said anything because they felt like they couldn't.
Yes.
It's really,
and that's why I say over here we're doing moments of speaking, where we're speaking out the names of the victims, and we are empowering ourselves to not be victims by speaking out the names, and not like y'all speaking out and y'all addressing these law enforcement out there in New York and the different states where we have these issues with the injustice that we've been receiving. Using your voice, not being afraid to speak out about it, and that's how we actually get to overcome to be survivors.
Yeah, so, and we had to find out about this through one of her friends from her job, who says she's related to my daughter's father. But she said, because they had her listed as one involved on a police report, and I was shocked when I seen it. So anyway, something just told me to call her and talk to her, ask her some questions. So I told her what was going on. I said, they got you released on a police report, and they said they interviewed you, and they were saying that she told my daughter not to ride the bike or whatever. And she said, no, they did not interview me, and I did not tell them that. And she said, she said, I'm the one, called to try to find out. She said, I tried to run out there to see was that Aisha, because it was right after she left. And she said, when I went out there, they told me to go back inside and stay there. And she said, so I said, well, tell me this. How did y'all find out about the accident? So I said, did y'all hear that, the accident? So she said, no. She said the police came in the job and told my boss about there was an accident outside and keep
Oh,
everybody inside. And she said then they pulled up a big tour bus in front of the job so that they could not see. So I'm like, why is all this if this was just a freak accident?
yeah. Wow.
Now, see, I completely believe, what my mom's friend said because, like I said, I experienced, what I'm saying, some crazy things firsthand. And when I tell you that these policemen will tell you to get in your room, and if you don't, they're taking matters into their own hands, and you might as well be the person that they get in because they don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's scary.
Yes.
That
Yes, it's really
It's very
crazy.
traumatic, very.
It really is crazy. Yeah. So this is the stuff we're dealing with. They never even interviewed nobody at the job, to see, what they seen, what they,
Right.
only people they interviewed was the people that hit her. And the two guys that hit her, one
Supposedly.
I did my supposedly allegedly I did my own research when I finally got the names because they didn't put the names in the paper. I mean, in the articles or nothing. We didn't get the names until we got the police report 9
mm,
months later. So I looked them up. One of them, he's a big time businessman,
mm.
and his son is a soccer player, professional soccer player. The other one
Oh,
works in law enforcement and therapy.
wow.
So do
So
you
y'all
see the
see the
connection with
pattern here? I do. I was going to say, to see the
yeah,
pattern here. So depending on
yeah,
who doing the unaliving, if they're connected in any kind of way, it looks like
Or if
they're
they,
they're
yeah,
covering for them.
yeah.
Yeah,
yes, yes.
Because if you're in a high place, you have the money for people's quietness. You can pay people
yeah,
to be quiet.
true.
And even when I asked the lawyer about the medical report, he said to me he don't see why the medical report is important. Now this a
Wow,
lawyer, and I guess I'm supposed to be a dummy.
Right.
wow,
It's some
wow.
crazy mess
Yes.
going on and it don't add up. And if you ask
And that's
me,
just half of our story.
right,
That ain't even half, I
right,
would say. That's a quarter of our story.
right.
Yes.
Girl, we'll be sitting here for forever. Tell you the whole
Yes.
story.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
appreciate y'all for sharing your story. And like I said, over here, we want to use the platform too to acknowledge other victims too. And, we're, since Shanquella's name is out there and it's really hot, if we, jumping all on that together, I feel like it'll suit us more. We'll come, we'll be more empowered to actually have, more voices and stuff like that. Thank you, Johnny
Yeah.
Air, for your super
Yeah.
sticker here. And people are saying that Deanna says, I'm so excited about you guys going on the panel. I don't think I ever heard at Sylvia. Okay, yeah. So all y'all other ones that put these ones in there, the link is there. Please come up and share your testimonies or your voice and feelings for Shanquella Robinson. So we have an open panel for people to come and share. And
Yeah.
I know
So my
Karen has been wanting to come up for a while to share her testimony. We appreciate
yeah.
you.
So me coming, I mean, being active with Shanquella's case was really because at the time the lawyers were working on my daughter's case and there was nothing I could do. So it was like very hard for me. So me getting focused on this kind of helped me somewhat to,
Okay.
kind of take my mind off. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just want to say before we get off of here, that we have to realize as a people, in numbers, we are strong.
Yes.
In numbers, we can make anything happen. Okay, so we have to remember that, and we have to stop tearing each other down. We have to work together, love each other, and empower each other. Because if we want anything to change, that's how we need to do it.
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Okay.
I appreciate y'all for coming up. All right,
You're
thank y'all.
welcome.
All right,
You're
and all your
welcome.
engagement too. Sharing it is, y'all can look out on these videos that I put out here. Sharon has participated and given so much engagement. I appreciate you sharing so much for all the engagement you've been putting in on this here channel. Surely appreciate you. And thank you for your daughter. What's your name again, daughter?
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, thank you, Aaliyah, too, for your contribution. I hear you. All right, we thank y'all so much, and y'all stay off in chat and Jessica. All right, and next I see y'all with those ones. Jessica, you had a one up there, and I know you have some comments. Karen, I didn't see you put a one, but you have a voice too, and all of y'all out there. What's going on, Linda? Linda says, hi. All right, so I want to hear from y'all and how you felt when the news came out that there was going to be no justice. And now after hearing Sharon's testimony, we see how, the U.S. been, they'll give you the dry bologna sandwich and tell you to just shut up. We hear the lady's voice in the one video here that said, there's absolutely nothing could be done. It's over. The thing is, the fire is out. There's nothing. She was adamant about it, totally letting us know that nothing can be done. And so we see here how these governments, these law enforcements do this kind of stuff. And, it's sad. It's super sad. And it seems that women actually get an even shorter end of the stick. All right. So Janice says that, Sharon, I also believe that the carpet tile burns on her upper back came from those animals dragging Shanquella to the bathroom to set up their alibi. There was tile floor in there, so no carpet. Jessica, what you got to say? Let's see.
Hello, Ari. How you doing?
All right, that's the voice. I'm doing good. How
That's
are you?
I'm good, but of course, this case really, really have been hitting me hard, and I feel like Shanquella is my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing I want to talk about was I don't understand how the FBI say they don't have any evidence. I'm saying, so are they not looking at the bruising on her body? Because from what the autopsy saying, she was bruised all over. That can't come from just a fall now. Like usually when you fall, it's one area, but this is all over her body. There's no way to explain that, but besides the brutal attack that we seen on the video.
Yes.
So I'm confused on how they saying they can't bring any charges, like nothing.
Yeah.
You can't get anything. That's unacceptable. And I feel like they came to that conclusion a long time ago, and they just saying it now. I guess because they pressuring them.
Yeah. I agree with you. I look at those dates and I'm like, if they did that back November the 17th, why all of a sudden now are they coming out with this information? Why wouldn't they have put that information out there back in November, since it was in total opposition of the death certificate that came from Mexico's coroner? So
Exactly.
I'm more apt to believe that than all this new stuff. And then even with the new stuff, they have documented all of the injuries, which were traumatic injuries. And, you don't just get brain swelling, for no reason. Those are from traumatic injuries. Those are injuries, impact injuries. So
Right.
It's
So-
hard to see.
So are they saying that she don't have a broken neck? That's what they're saying. They didn't find the broken neck.
That's what it sounds like they're saying on this from the Charlotte, North Carolina's autopsy. But it doesn't say cause of death. They're saying that they can't determine, it's undetermined. But no fractures, right? I mean, it just sounds, it's unbelievable.
Have you ever heard that? Inconclusive autopsy?
I hadn't, and I was actually looking around to try to Google to download what the autopsy looked like, because I was suspicious of the wording in it. It didn't sound like, if nothing else, they have to list a cause of death, and for her being so young with those injuries, all that has to be a reason to rule it out. And I just don't think I don't think it's right. I think there are lies on there, and they're not expecting for us to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and compare it with another autopsy. I think if we did like a side-by-side comparisons to, a autopsy, and then what they put out there, it's not going to match up. It's not going to match up. I can't see how a physician would say that they didn't see any type of fractures. And then they're trying to distract us by making us believe that Shanquella being embalmed had something to do with the autopsy not being accurate. Because if that's true, then why would they ever exhume a person's body to do another autopsy?
Right, to do another one, exactly. That's
because they definitely would have been embalmed. So, and then being embalmed, that's not going to do anything as far as like showing those type of the injuries from the broken neck. If they were already saying before, according to the death certificate, there was an internal decapitation, all this stuff, and we saw her get her neck wrung, how can they say that there's no proof of a fractured spine?
Right. And another question I had is, have you ever seen an autopsy where it described, I think on that one it was basically saying what Cabo 6 said. The story.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty strange. I mean, I don't read autopsies, but I thought that was pretty strange that he had details of what Cabo 6 said. I'm like, what they have to do with, I don't know. This whole thing had me confused.
Yeah, I feel you on that, LaJessica. I feel the same way. It sounds like to me that these autopsies were written by police or somebody that's not in the medical profession. And then I think they're trying to really sell us because they got an actual doctor's name listed on here. And I did Google that doctor, and he is the he does autopsies for that area that he's documenting on. But I don't it just sounds fake. Like I don't see them not listing a cause of death.
Right.
It's impossible.
And another thing, okay, so they said the autopsy was done, Mexico autopsy was done on basically the next day. So my question is, who gave them permission to do an autopsy? Because I thought they had to get consent from a family member to do an autopsy.
Yeah.
And this is different. Is it different in Mexico?
I don't think so. And my other thing is this too. If an autopsy is not something that's done, for everybody, and it has to be paid for. If Mexico is such a poor country, how are they doing an autopsy on a body that hasn't even been claimed by, a foreign body that hasn't even been claimed by the family? They haven't even contacted the family to even give permission or even say, do y'all want to, purchase an autopsy? So they haven't had no contact with the family, and they did this quick autopsy on a weekend holiday after hours. Highly unlikely. Like I just don't see that. I don't see that. And if they had the autopsy, if they had did it actually on October 30th, how come it only was released in April? How did we just get it in April, or was it March? It was March, huh? It was March when the Mexican gave us their autopsy. Yeah. So how did we just get it in March? But they did it like 30 minutes after, it's just unbelievable. And then they had all this, new information about burns on the body. Like yeah, right. That you could see under the clothes. You didn't have to remove the clothes to see. So they had X-ray vision where they could see through the black T-shirt that Shanquella was wearing. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing I was thinking, I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about the autopsy?
Oh yeah. So so they did the autopsy on the 30th. And then I want to know, okay, so the concierge said that he contacted DJ or whatever, there's your name.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to see where they were. I guess did the results come back like immediately? Because I thought it took weeks before autopsy. Because my aunt got one done for my cousin, and he was gonna come back until weeks later.
Yeah.
So I guess they saying he said that he suspected foul play, but then you still close the case as cardiac arrest or whatever.
Yeah.
Cardiac arrest? Yeah, cardiac arrest.
Original police report, right? They said it was cardiac arrest and alcohol intoxication. So yeah, they changed the story up a few times, but the good news is that we still have their original stories that they reported on back in November. So
okay, I remember what I wanted to say about the autopsy. I don't remember the autopsy saying anything about like broken ribs. Did it say anything about that?
I didn't read that either. It said they were talking about the osteo, which is musculoskeletal system, that no injuries were there.
Okay, so if 14 rounds of CPR was done,
yeah,
wouldn't she have bruising on a rib or something?
Definitely had some fractured ribs, But once we put the time together, we know that no CPR is going to go on for hours in the field. There's no way that someone's doing CPR in the villa for hours.
Right.
No way. Even in the hospital, when we're surrounded with a whole staff of people, it's impossible. You may able to do 2 minutes, before it's time to switch to somebody else.
Right.
Because this is, you're getting tired. You can't do that. There's no way you don't have the energy. And they originally reported that this wasn't an emergency doctor. So where did they get these emergency supplies from?
Right.
You're not walking around with CPR drugs on you. They're not just no one's walking around with the CPR drugs on. And even in their description, they were missing all of the medications that's required. And they started adding things to their story after we were ripping them apart to show how that's not how it's done. That's not how it's done. And then they come back with new stories to try to fill in the holes from, that we was able to poke through their stories. So I don't believe any of them. And now that Mexico is being mum's the word, they ain't saying nothing, no comment. It's because now they feel like they've done enough, where they kept pointing out saying, oh, look, it's on them. It's America. They the one holding it up. And then all of a sudden America's like, we ain't gonna do nothing. It's nothing happening here. So Mexico now is like, okay, we good. We is good to the last drop because nobody's gonna, America said they ain't doing nothing. So now all we have to do is just ignore them. They ain't got to say nothing to us. Because
Right.
now nobody's even looking at them. We are now looking at, who to look at. Who to look at. Now I know
So,
Jessica, you've been on this case since the beginning.
yes.
So what is
And it brought tears to my eyes when I found out that they wasn't gonna do anything.
Yeah.
And I was crying like a baby. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
It hurts. It really hurts to see that in 2023 we still here. I think back on the Emmett Till case, way back then, to where they had a whole trial and all that stuff, and then they said not guilty. Just knowing how Black people been getting that same slap in the face, for centuries, for decades, in this country, to where you think that, okay, we passed that, now that we can show, here it is on the video, to see that they still go back to the whole thing. Well, we didn't see any, there's no abuse here. We didn't see it.
Right.
So it's just hurtful to know that, you are still at the liberty of, if they're gonna give you gestures or not, right? So it hurts. I feel you on that. I was feeling like, okay, we've been through all this emotion stuff now, trying to be strong. But then when you hear the news say that, and you see the energy in their faces, like, oh yeah, there's absolutely nothing that could be done here. Y'all can't prove it. It hurts. It really hurts, and it makes you. It's definitely it hurts. So I feel you on that. It was said in.
And then I want to know, did all of Cabo 6 give interviews? Did they talk to all of them or just some? Because it's just hard for me to believe that they just went by their word.
Yeah.
I guess they said that after she agreed to the fight. That's what they're saying. Which I guess they can prove that, because at the beginning of the fight, or the attack, I'm sorry, I say fight. Beginning of the attack, both of them said okay. So we don't know what they okay to, but I guess they have an argument there. But then the argument stopped once Malik asked her, are you going to fight back? And she said no. It should have stopped then.
Yeah. I honestly don't believe that was Shanquella that said no.
I don't either.
I think that was the Winter.
Elise. I thought it was I think it's Elise.
Okay.
Because even when the video ends, it kind of looks like the guy that that was to the side. It kind of looked like he was. I don't know if he was gonna.
I heard him talking.
Yeah, and he said something. I mean, no, he walked or looked like he was trying to move. I don't know if he was trying to stop it or whatever. But the girl, whoever that is, whether it's Winter or Elise, it's like they stopped him from doing whatever he was about to do. Because you hear her say, and it looked like he moved a little, and then she said, put her finger and said, So it looked, I don't know what happened there, but then it cut off there. So I was like, I wonder what happened there. Was he trying to help, or I don't know.
It was like they were making sure, no,
Yeah,
this is going down.
Mm-hmm.
I was suspicious too about why did Malik say, "Can you at least fight back?" It was almost like y'all, you already know what we're going to do to you. At least fight back. Give us some drama here. Give us a little something. And
then you cut that video out real quick after she hit that ground.
Yeah.
And then another thing, she hit the ground and then her legs spread.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how did she get up from that? Like her legs spread, like she had no more control over them. So I don't believe she got up and went to her room or whatever they said. I don't believe that.
From your head, when you see the head, boom, down off into the chest. It lets you understand the internal decapitation that they spoke about. You saw her back bowed down. I can, play that video with John Q breaking it down. even the shorts, me pointed out saying, look at the back all bowed, and you can see the vertebrae all distorted. There's no getting up from that. She was done from that point. You can see when the neck was broken. We saw Dejanay grab her around, hook her around the neck, and sling her neck. Her legs couldn't be straight like that unless the signals, it was paralyzed, because certain moves your body's not going to go in if you're not paralyzed. There's certain moves you just can't be in. Your subconscious will have you curl up something. You're not going to just sit flat like that, and your legs are not going to just be extended like that to where your knee is hyper extended backwards like that. It's not going to work. Your brain wouldn't let you do it. But if the signal has been severed, then so yeah. We see the injuries that were listed on the death certificate. We can match those up in the assault that we see that's on the video.
And then I hate to say this, but I kind of wish the winter video is true, because the way people are describing it as if she basically did a wrestling move on her and then that was it. So I guess that right there can prove that, that they unalived her. That's I kind of wish that, but then I kind of hope, I don't want that girl to suffer like that. But I don't know. This case make my head hurt.
Yeah, it's that. I'm talking about the wrestling move that Dejanay did on her. I don't see anybody being able to lift her up off of the ground and body slam her after the neck was fractured.
Right. And there's so many different stories for the winter video, because one girl said she got up, went to the bathroom, looked in the mirror.
Wow. And
then Winter came in there and attacked her. And then someone else said Winter just started attacking her while she was on the floor. So I'm like, that's why I don't believe it's a Winter video. But then I didn't see it, and I can't say what people saw.
Right.
But
the reason why I believe that it is a video of Winter still attacking her after Dejanay finished was because one of my lives that I did, like I think the next day, like on November the 25th or something, 26th, I said in the video, because somebody left a comment if they continue to fight her, and I said, oh, I remember seeing the video with the light-skinned girl, I think her name's Winter, hitting her afterwards.
Yeah, I remember.
And so I remembered when this thing first came out that it was it was more of it. I saw two people putting hands on her, and then it just disappeared, and and so, and then I know I wasn't the only one. Other people were admitting to seeing that part of the video too. So that's why I know that it has to be one, because November 26th, I wouldn't have had any reason to say, oh yeah, there was a second video. Because I was just saying it like, oh yeah, I saw the light-skinned girl hitting her after that. I said, but she was already, finished after the first girl twisted her neck. We know that it was 15-minute life expectancy after that. So that's why we always go back to these true facts, and that matches up 15 minutes after receiving the broken neck, because if we know that you can't breathe, and the reason why they gave 15 minutes is because after 12 minutes without the oxygen, it's final, as far as like not being able to recover from that. So the 15-minute life expectancy, all those things make sense. And this were the original reports before they knew they had to make up these new lies that came after the video surfaced.
So I heard you say earlier that you think the third autopsy is a waste of time. You don't think they should get a third opinion just due to the discrepancy with both autopsies?
I'm sure they're going to have to in order to be able to prove something. the reason why I was saying that is because we got the original information, like the death certificate with the from the coroners, before they knew they had to lie. Mexico sent the first one that said, the atlas luxation and the spinal cord injury listed 2 causes of death and the time. Everything else that they put out there, those autopsies did not list a cause of death and the time. Those are 2 things that I believe are supposed to be on the autopsy. Again, I'm not an expert on what's supposed to be on the autopsy, but just reading it, certain things don't sound like medical stuff. It sounds like even on the Mexican one, it's saying that it's coming from the Attorney General office. Even, this little thing in Charlotte, they still keep tying up prosecutor up in there. They did attach a doctor's name to it. However, with all these, extra legal, people involved in it, makes me feel suspicious. Like, why are the attorneys talking about an autopsy? Why are they even why is it in their mouths? It's not, why? And if they would say that there are other physicians, what about the physicians that was on Nancy Grace podcast, out there on other YouTubers podcasts, other, people in healthcare being able to indicate and point out some of the things that, medically related. Then we go back and we listen to whenever they were talking about, it was the Mexican police report. The police reported this, it was all them. And then we hear the attorney over in Mexico said that police reports are custom. These are custom made reports. So you can pretty much, they can say whatever. And a lot of times the police be the ones putting in the false information, and then things don't get escalated. And that's how people have been able to get away with crimes, since the beginning of time. These people are getting away with crimes.
Right. I want to know where this doctor hiding.
Which one? Mexican doctor?
The one on the scene.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I don't believe that there was no doctor on the scene. I really don't, because I'm trying to find, let me see, I'm gonna go pull up one of these videos that's showing what was said in, okay, this was one I did that showed in the beginning how, the stories change, and that the doctor was there, that they said that the doctor got there before 2, and then the other one, they said they didn't even call the doctor until 2. So it just makes me believe that there's no doctor there, because the things that they were describing that the doctor said or did isn't things that a doctor would say or do. There's no time that a doctor would spend 3 hours in the field working on a patient, period. Just like I said before, when has a doctor ever spent more than 5 to 10 minutes with you on a visit? The doctor is not going to put their time out like that. They're already knowing that they're not going to be able to sustain CPR on a patient for 3 hours. They would have already called the doctor would not have been asking the friends, hey, can we take her to the doctor, to the hospital, or she needs to be hospitalized? The doctor would have called 911.
Right.
There's no way that a doctor is going to be looking at lay people to give advice and guidance on their interventions.
Right. Why wasn't there more question asked? Okay, let's say like they did tell her it was a fall. Okay, where did she fall? Where did she hit? Why she have all these bruises on her leg? Like, it should have been so many more questions after that. That's crazy to me.
That's true. That is true. So, Jessica, in closing, how would you say this case has affected you as far as like, I know some people are saying they don't want to travel to Mexico. How are you feeling about that? Do you think?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely not going to Mexico. I actually had a trip planned to go there, and I canceled that in a heartbeat because I just, even though it was in Cabo, it was like Cancun. I just feel like the whole country needs to be banned because it just, I just don't believe that it's so many unaliving going on, Americans at that, and nothing is getting done about it. Or
Yeah,
they closing it out as alcohol poisoning, and it's not matching up with the injuries.
right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's a a wake up call for us to be aware of who you are hanging out with, right? Especially going over into a foreign country with people that that may have these negative energy towards you. A lot of times we should, like I was saying before, stop, look, listen, and feel for vibes, right?
Right,
See when people is like not feeling you, or you in a space where people are envious of you, because envy is a horrible emotion, and it could cause people to do all kind of things that want to see you not here, taking your last breath because they jealous. So to me,
right. And I only have two friends,
okay,
and I travel with my sister, so,
yeah,
or
yeah,
my husband and my kids. So yeah, and I can read a person too. That's why I don't have many friends, because it don't take me long to read a room or read energy. Cause yeah,
right. Super smart, super smart.
you have to, yeah. But thank you for letting me
You're
join the
so welcome.
platform.
Thanks for coming up too, La Jessica. All
I,
right. Oh, I didn't mean to chop you like that. But I do appreciate you. La Jessica has been coming to the channel, leaving comments for, a very long time in the beginning. So she is definitely long-term supporter of the channel. And I thank you for sharing your thoughts and your questions. Very good questions. And I understand where you're coming from. I totally feel you here too. So I'm going to read a few more comments, and then we could start to wrap it up. If anybody else wants to go ahead and come on up, because we'll be coming in for a landing soon. Linda Beth says Mexico is even worse than here. Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of, I don't know. I think we might be a little bit worse, because if that wasn't a smooth slap in the face, TCDC says, I think they should have criminal attorneys instead of civil attorneys. But weren't they saying something like, now we have to try to defend her civil rights since they're not doing, I don't know. That's a good one there. I don't know. Sue Ann is a criminal defense attorney. Okay. Yeah, I think somebody did say that. So I guess they have like a combination, with Ben Crump being the civil rights, and then Sue Ann coming in with the the defense attorney stuff. So just like she said, high level diplomatic intervention is needed, and that's what we're doing here. What's going on? Anna is Faith. Jones says, "How are you, Queen?" Yes, we're doing good. Like I said, I'm looking forward to my first political adventure, march, walk, support thing in Washington D.C. And Deanna says, it's like each time we get bad information, and then a few months later they say, yes, that wasn't true, but here's some more BS. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. So let me see here. I know I should have some easy shorts with these fake stories on it. All right, so yeah, here's one. The death certificate. Here's a nice one here. I'm going to play this short real quick. All right, let me share the screen here. This is a quick short, and it's going to talk about the bogus police report and stuff that they put out there back in the day. This has to be done by a physician. All right, let me start it over. Here is the oops.
Letter states that when the doctor arrived and that she died within 3 hours. He says the police report lists her death as cardiac arrest. It doesn't mention the severe spinal cord and neck injury.
Okay, so it says the police, I'm about to say that too. Police report cardiac arrest. And this here was back in November when they first was talking. Police do not have the authority to declare a cause of death. This has to be done by a physician. Here is the clue right here. Here's the red flag. Police report. Police report. Yes, police report.
Injuries that the death certificate lists as Shanquella's cause of death. The autopsy also doesn't mention alcohol. It states she died within 15 minutes of her injury and that Shanquella Robinson was found unconscious in her living room.
The autopsy should overrule the police report.
All right, he said the autopsy should overrule the
when the
all right, so that was it on that one there.
Federal murder charges could be brought in this case. What's the rationale for that?
You know, you can sue in federal court for criminal if, in fact, there is a criminal law under federal law, or if there's a constitutional issue. And
that's what we need to do. We need to find out these federal laws and stuff. Because I just don't believe the one person that was talking earlier, the white lady, saying that there's nothing that could be done. It's absolutely, it's over.
The attorneys are trying to say is this was international, so that gets you in federal court. And also, they're trying to say that there was international commerce in the fact that the phone went from one place to the other place, and there's evidence there.
Yeah, because remember back when they were saying that the FBI was going to pull these IP addresses and all that stuff. So that's why I find it hard to believe now, and it's so frustrating that they're saying that they don't have the evidence, right? Because in the beginning, they were so confident. People were talking that, the FBI is going to pull these records and they're going to be able to know who did the video, all that stuff. And now all of a sudden, there's nothing. So that's why I'm thinking that, this is a cover up because they're covering up for these Cabo 6 people. Linda Best says, and I agree with some scratches coming from Shanquella being dragged around and from them trying to dress her. Her body was frozen in a seated position, maybe straightened out, causes damage too. Yeah, like I said, I'm going with the first statements when they said the maid found Shanquella in the same seated position and she was already deceased. She was already deceased. Okay, let's go ahead and do this here. All right, here's one.
Shanquella.
I'm about to share.
Service worker found her, correct? She wasn't deceased yet. She wasn't dead yet.
Quiero clarificar esto para los seguidores.
This was Gerald's interview back in, I want to say it was November also.
Que comentan que la persona de servicio cuando encontró a Shanquella todavía no estaba fallecida.
Ya estaba fallecida. Tenía de las 7 a las 12. Ella llegó después de las 12.
She had been dead already.
She had been dead already. She had been dead already. So this how you know there was no doctor there doing all this CPR if the maid found her already dead. appreciate you speaking out, from as an RN to be able to. Here go one.
Shanquella was not deceased at the moment.
All right, we just saw that one. Okay, but I'm just saying, like, look here, y'all. Y'all can, look here. All this is all Shanquella. This whole everything is Shanquella. Right up in here, right? This is what we were saying down in the beginning, in the front part of this whole thing. In the beginning part, right? This is what was being said in the beginning. This is what they were saying in the front part of it. Here's Martin. He's done a lot of stuff on his thing. This, So how now are these things, now coming up? Let's see here. Here goes something else. I remember this guy back in November reporting. Y'all remember this guy reporting? He was ABC News. This is what we was asking for. Here it is, y'all, right here. Right? He was the one that was knocking on the doors back in November. All right, so let's go on back up here in this chat. Johnny, thanks again for your super sticker too, Johnny. Says, it seems like Mexico's autopsy is saying that her neck or spine was unaligned and not necessarily broken. All right, so let me see here. Where my little spinal neck at? All right, so the spine is with multiple bones, whole bunch of them. So unaligned, right? They said the internal decapitation. So the head being knocked off. Where is my atlas? The head being knocked off. The head being knocked off is the spine being unaligned. So you can't live with your head off if not, being in the alignment. So this is describing a fatal injury there. So they're trying to say the truth without saying the truth. They put it in there like if your head and neck is not aligned, then that's your head being off of your body, right? That's the internal decapitation that they were talking about, right? But yeah, trying to word it this way so it sounds something different. Deanna says, that's why I think this is just another stall and we need to figure out what we want next instead of trying to figure out what crap they served. Yes, we all know Mexico's autopsy is bad. And that's why I say we just go to the original coroner's report when the family was saying what the coroner said. Did they do another autopsy? That's what they are saying. Sharon says, thank you so much, Aaron, for letting us share my daughter's story. You are very welcome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Yes. Like I said over here, we want to, give voices to victims all over. So, if that means, you telling your testimony or family members' testimony, like I said, one of the things that is the goal over here is to become survivors by not holding the secrets. So we talking, speaking out loud. Let's see here. Deanna says, but we spent months trying to figure it out. We knew femicide was weird to not extradite on, so we complained about that. And Sue Ann was like, yeah, no, not a problem. Yeah. All right. Deanna says, and why did FBI use Mexico report if vial, yes, of blood wasn't sent? Thank you. Yeah. Let's see. Deanna says, because it probably wasn't Quilla's blood. Yeah, yep. Let's see, Janet, and then too, they probably didn't even take any blood. I mean, the other autopsy, like I said, I'm cool with accepting the original death certificate from the coroners before a video was ever surfaced, and all that the coroner was doing was doing the evaluation, writing the cause of death. Boom. Severe spinal cord injury. Look at this back all jacked up, right? We can see that. Wish I could just go right to the right short that I want to show that shows, those injuries. They on there. Let's see here. Janet says, with the injury to her private area, how come the medical examiner in North Carolina that noted the injuries didn't do a R kit during the exam? Exactly. And then if you got all of this, how come you still saying you don't know what the cause of death is? You're describing all these injuries of a brutal demise here. You got bruises and, suspicious injuries on people's genitalia, and you saying, inconclusive. Someone has a swollen brain, 25 years old. An autopsy in 2 to 4 hours. Thank you, Linda. That's what I'm saying. We get that sheet out, and they said at 8 o'clock, the body was here and had went through all of the proper chains of command on this Saturday night. And it is present to be presented to this here autopsy table where we got a saw, a thumb clip, a thumb forceps, and a video camera and action, right? Yep. Yeah, right? So they did an autopsy on a foreign body that had not even been identified by the family. They hadn't even made family contact. So who gave them permission to do an autopsy? Right? Because the father said he had to look around, he had to Google. He hadn't even they didn't even know where the body was at. They had already got an autopsy done with the report hours later on a weekend. And it was a special holiday weekend for Mexico. They're, celebrating the deaths and dead and all whatever, stuff, right? And they got, a physician out of his bed to come do this quick autopsy report on a foreign body. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I think I got an email here. Okay, let's see here. Oh, is this an invitation? All right. So get a few more of these here and see. Sharon says, Adita, thank you all for your condolences. Yes, we are open to what anyone can do to help. Yeah. Like I said, we working together and we're building it up together here. Johnny says, I too find it strange that the U.S. autopsy report, it seems, included Cabo's crew's statements. How do they know Shanquella went to her room after she was attacked? Yeah, exactly. And since when did that kind of information get put on an autopsy report? Let me see if I had downloaded an autopsy. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. I actually did. All right, so let me see if I could if I did the other one too. It's here. It's a mock autopsy report. And then we'll we'll look at this mock autopsy report. Ooh, I'm so far. Uh-oh. Let me see if this what if y'all still with me down here. Dang. Ooh, I'm scrolling. Yes, me. Let's see. Hey, Helen, what's going on? Helen said, it's just terrible and very disappointing what the U.S. FBI is saying. Cabo 6 thinks they've gotten away with it. Karma, what goes around comes around. That is so true. So true. Linda Best said at RN, I just sent you an email of a video to watch. Okay, I think I got it too. Thank you, Linda. Let's see here. Sylvia said, you sound much younger than I imagined, Jessica. I know it's always nice to get a voice here with y'all's comments and stuff like that. I thank y'all so much. Thanks again for, you guys who did hit the link and come up here. Let's see here. Jessica says at TS, right. Are you going to honor it since they are not going to do anything? And Jessica says at Deanna, thank you just for Shanquella. Yes, just how we are get down over here. All right. Yes, with the lawsuit. Helen Henry says, okay, I already read that. All right. Thanks, Karen. Karen is, I tried to join twice. All right. I don't know what is going on with, let me see. Let me go over to join. I thought, you already joined. You got it. You right there. I see you got your stamp. All right. And Sharon says at Karen, they claim 55 miles and claim my daughter was gone 20 or 30 miles an hour. However, we saw no skid marks either. Wow. Yeah, they trying to bamboozle the people and stuff like that. So I'm just grateful that we able to keep the word out there and to keep asking. So they'll get tired of us, and then we'll have to start getting some justice here. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. So see, I'm going to pray that I can get there. Washington, God willing. Yes. I'm gonna start making my plans. Duchess Snow Chloe says, this is a scary thing. How many more people can go out the country with friends and not make it home? It's terrible. This is terrible. Yeah, it is. It really is. And just like Sue Ann said, you can't go do the thing and then come back and be like, oh, I made it to base. I'm safe. Tag, you gotta tag me. Linda Beth says, and we know they made phone calls and texts. Yeah, they really painted that picture out good too. LaJessica says, what about the part of the autopsy that said her injuries occurred 12 hours before her unaliving? So they are beating her all night? That's what it sounds like they were trying to make it appear to be. All right, let me go on and share this here. Mock autopsy report. All right, so I did download this here mock autopsy report just to kind of see what it should look like and stuff like that. So it was long and extensive like the one there, but let me see where you would find the actual cause of death. So the front page, this is for students, I guess here it says, you put your case information, the age, date of birth, date admitted, clinician, date of death, time, service, date of autopsy, time, location, race, attendant. That's true. They don't remember them acknowledging her race. Occupation, prosecutor, zip code, pathologist, social security number, consent, right? So they didn't have a consent. Consent obtained from daughter. See here? So here's a clue right here. this is saying, a consent needs to be, even in the hospital, right? Before we can do any kind of surgery, even sometimes if we're going to get a CAT scan, if we're going to use a contrast, if they're going to get an MRI, those are consentable procedures. They have to get a consent, right? So here they are listing their consent. It said here the consent was obtained from the daughter. Autopsy cause of death, massive gastrointestinal bleeding due to duodenum ulceration, right? So she had an ulcer, and they listed, right? So the cause of death, and then it says related to, right? So let me see if I can pull up the fake bogus report from that it? No. Okay, that ain't it. This is, what is this one here? This here is this is their little federal statement that they made. Okay, this ain't what I want to pull up, but let me see here. All right, so if that's that video, that. Okay, I think that's going to be on a, let me go back to this while I look for the autopsy that the FBI, the American folks did. All right, so, okay, this is my guest returning my vehicle. So I'm gonna put the video on for y'all to play. For y'all to listen to real quick while I check this guest in or lock my car. Let me see here. Stop. All right. And y'all could, y'all could do this here. Oh, I don't know why it's not playing. All right, so. All right, I think I got too many boxes open. I love how, there's no justice here for women, and especially Black women. All right, so Mexico and the United States want us to. All right, love y'all. Let's see here. Let me just make sure I didn't say all the new folks who have just joined us. We've been going for a few hours here. We're talking about going to Washington on the 19th of May and all that good stuff. We got some new members, people come in to support. See, Bridget says, when Shanquella said no, she sounded traumatized and in shock. Yeah, Bridget, I was saying, I don't think that was Shanquella that said no, because it sounded like Winter said no, like, she wasn't supposed to fight back. I don't know, y'all. I love y'all. So we did drop the link. A few people came up and got some things off of their chest. I'm gonna come back. I want to say Wednesday. Let me see here, because I could work Wednesday night. We can come back, right? So y'all could thank y'all too for who's been sending me emails and all those good things like that. We'll come back on Wednesday and answer any questions, or also come up and put some things out in the chat. See, Linda says, can you put the email in chat? Yes, I can. I will. Is that for me though? Oh, can I put? Yes. Yes, you can put your email in the chat. All right. Okay. So thank y'all so much for stopping by and all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all on Wednesday. So let me go ahead and finish this up here. Love y'all. Thanks again so much. Peace and love. See y'all Wednesday.